good day.
Thank you, Mohammed.
On the sidelines of the joint ECOWAS, WAMA, WAMI, and WAFIM statutory meetings, you've had a wrap-up meeting with the Saudi delegation that you met on Monday. That delegation has been meeting various ministries and agencies. What are the highlights of their visit?
Well, thank you, Mohammed, for coming. I'm here at Farmington Hotel. We are happy as a country to be hosting this big meeting. You're right, it's a joint ECOWAS, WAMA, WAMI, and WAFIM statutory meetings. Just before I came, I even had to greet my colleague from Sierra Leone, the Minister of Finance, who just arrived. He used the road. We have central bank governors from West Africa, finance ministers from West Africa, director generals of WAFIM, WAMI, and WAMA, including our own Boema Kamara. So it's a big meeting for us. But besides what we're doing, tomorrow there's going to be a meeting of the ECOWAS Convergence Council. But let me not get into all of those, but to get to your question. This week, we as a country, we were happy to have welcomed the Saudi delegation, from the Saudi Fund for Development. They've been partners in progress. The Saudi Fund for Development is part of what we call a consortium or a group of Arab lenders. They were the ones that financed the Banga Saraye highway, with the intention from the beginning that they would finance the full stretch of the road from Banga to Menikoma. The first leg, the Banga Saraye highway, it was they, along with the Kuwaiti Fund, the OPEC Fund for International Development, and another Arab lender called Badir, that put up the money. And as you know, by the time the government came in, the government headed by President Boakai, construction works has stalled on that road for nearly 6 months or so. And we had to re-engage with the Kuwaitis and the Arab lenders because we were not meeting our obligation as a country. Because when they give you money, when a period will come, when the grace period expires, you need to start paying back principal and interest. We started to default, and there were other issues. I don't want to get into the weeds on those, but we had to re-engage with them with the visit I led to Kuwait. That included the Minister of Public Works and the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and others. We had a very good meeting, and the Kuwaitis decided to help us to mobilize the other Arab funders. We had to conclude a debt restructuring agreement with the Kuwaitis so that they could start to pay, they could start to disburse on their commitments. That we did, and the Kuwaitis started to disburse on their commitments and the other lenders. We had two meetings in Washington, D.C. last year. One on the margins of the spring meeting that happened in April 2025. We met all these lenders, the Saudi Fund, the Badia, the OPEC Fund, and others, the Kuwaitis. And we're also there in October. And when I say we, mean the Minister of Works, Public Works, and other ministers. The Managing Director of the Liberia Electricity Corporation joined us in these meetings in Washington. So what has been happening of late is the outcome of these conversations.
Okay.
These are next steps. And let me thank the Liberian ambassador to Saudi Arabia, Amara Saka, Ambassador Saka, who has also been helping us, and all the ambassadors of our country is accredited to these countries, whether it's Kuwait and others. They've been helping coordinated by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So let me thank Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We leading this effort, they backstopping us. So the Saudis, we had, we concluded agreement with the Kuwaitis. The Kuwaitis were here. We initiated an agreement with them, almost 13 million. Last time the Badea was here, Badea committed 30 million for the road. The road now from Banga, we will soon reach Salah.
How soon would that be?
Just maybe in the next week or two. Let's say at best, let's say 3 weeks. It's moving fast. I was on that road. I saw how fast they were moving. They will soon reach Salah. Then that leg will be over. So the issue will be what happens beyond Salah to Vonjama and even to Menakoma. So we have mobilized financing commitment for the stretch that will take it from Salah to Konya. In that stretch, one of the most important cities is Zozo. So it's almost, I think, 56 kilometers. The financing will mobilize from Badea and the Kuwaiti Fund, and another financier we're concluding with is the OPEC Fund for International Development, OFID. So we have enough money to be able to clear that stretch. The other stretch we're concerned about is the stretch that will take it from Konya to Vonjama. That's a long stretch, and there where the Saudis have committed to assisting us in putting up the financing. And also, one of the good add-ons here is the 6 kilometer stretch of road from Zozo to Yela along the Guinea border. That is going to enhance trade. The Saudis have committed to putting up the financing after the feasibility study is done. Let me thank the Minister of Works, Honorable Giddings, his team, Honorable Tamba, is the head of the RIU there, the Baker. It's a tag team approach. We finance ministry, we're there to mobilize funds, but the technical work is done by public works. So, and then we support, we backstop. So we are working together on this. So the Saudis intend to bring the head of the Saudi fund, April, because for the dedication of the first stretch of road.
So the first one, Bangladesh Salah, will be dedicated in April.
In April. Okay. So the head of the Saudi fund will be coming, and there where now they will formally launch their second leg. It will be their second leg from Konya to Banga, to Zozo. But whereas the Kuwaitis and the Badea and others will be funding from Konya from Salah to Konya. The Saudis are going to jump ahead. Now you may wonder as to what's going to happen between Zozo to Menakoma. That stretch of the road, we are dealing with that stretch to a two-pronged approach. The whole highway, we're dealing with it through a two-pronged approach. The Arab lenders are financing from Banga to Zozo. We're not waiting for them up to Menakoma. The government has secured a financing arrangement through the concession that was recently ratified by the legislature through this company called Pavifort. And the Minister of Works has assured that mobilization is on the way, and that the work, construction activity may soon start, and it will start from Menakoma to Vonjama. So while they are bringing the other leg to Vonjama, this other leg to Vonjama from the Banga side will be going on. So what I can say, we have mobilized all financing arrangements for the full stretch of the road that will move now from Saraye to Menakoma. So if there's going to be delay, it will not be because we don't have the money. The Arab lenders are prepared to put up the money up to Vonjama, and the Pavifort agreement has secured financing for Menakoma to Vonjama. So there are a lot of technical things that could delay us, including a long procurement process here and there. We are working with the Ministry of Public Works to shorten everything, but making sure that we don't shortchange quality.
Because that's my next point. To get all of these commitments is one thing, or what would the government do to make sure that these commitments come to fruition?
Well, the commitments are there, but the issue is how fast we move. And yes, we have, one of the concerns we have is our rainy season. So while we have the droughts, we try to sprint. So I'm very happy with the team at the Ministry of Works, led by my friend and colleague, Honorable Giddings and the team. We are giving them all the support, timely support, so that we move fast. Whether it is an updated study report we need to give the Saudis, we are moving very, very fast. And the president is also tracking this seriously. One of the good things here, although this doesn't come from the Saudis, but we put forth some requests to them, they are considering that too. Along this stretch, especially from Salaye to Konya, there are hospitals along the way. Badea has put forth a grant of $700,000 to support some hospitals, clinics along the way. So that's grant. That one is not loan, although all the loans we're getting from these arrangements, these loans are soft loans, meaning, long grace period and very low interest rate that makes them very concessional. But something else that came from the Saudis has to do with the intervention for sports in this country. And that's very significant. The president is big on youth empowerment and young people, recreation and what have you. FIFA, I think a year or two ago, a few years ago, concluded an arrangement with the government of Saudi Arabia through the Saudi Fund for Development, SFD, a $1 billion support for sports development across developing countries. Liberia portion of that support is about $30 million United States dollars that will come through the Saudi fund. This is not grant though, it's concessional financing. One of the things this delegation followed up on was, how fast we are moving to be able to decide. And they met the team at the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Deputy Ministers Andy Kpehe and Henry Yonto. The ministry is in transition, but the decision that government needs to make and will escalate to the president is how do we intend to use the 30 million? Do we upgrade the SKD, make it fancier than what it is? Do we take the money and build another stadium somewhere? Or do we look at all the counties and build mini stadiums? We are not an expert. Finance ministry is to conclude financing arrangements. So in the next few days, when the president returns, the government will make a decision. Our sporting colleagues, LFA and others will weigh in, but the government will make a decision and we'll get back to the Saudis on how we intend to move. They want us to move faster because they were very impressed with all the government entities they met. And one of the entities they met was the Liberia Electricity Corporation. When we were in Washington, we engaged, and that engagement was led by Mr. Mohammed Sharif of the Liberia Electricity Corporation, engaged the Saudis on a funding request for transmission lines that would take the transmission line from Botota in Bon County to Menekoma. The Saudis are prepared to put up almost 50 million, I think $49.6 million towards that stretch, that the electricity intention there. I think the total will be upwards of 100 million, which we are trying to mobilize from others. The Saudi commitment would take the transmission line and will sponsor the construction of substations in Botota, Banga, and Zorzor. So that would be almost 50 million, 49.6 million. Sharif and his team.
So that means they are taking electricity from Budota to Zozo.
Yes,
Okay.
to Zozo, and we're not stopping there. We're mobilizing other partners for the stretch from Zozo to Menekoma. So we're on multiple fronts. So thanks to the managing director Sharif and the team at NEC, thanks to our folks at Youth and Sports, the impression the Saudis gave me, was very good. And the Saudis met the folks at the Liberia Airport Authority this morning before they left. They've just left us, and we're talking. The Saudis, along with Badea, they funded the runway extension years ago under the government of President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and there are still some funds that they have not remitted under that project, almost 2.8 million. There are one or two residual issues that relate to that project. They discussed with LAA, but we need to conclude with LAA quickly so that the Saudis can remit the remaining 2.8 million for something critical. The Saudis are prepared to also give financing for some other priorities that the Liberia Airport Authority will have. So basically, this is a snapshot, a panoramic view of the engagement with the Saudis. They left from here very impressed. We're going to conclude the A memoir with them, and then we're going to be sending them some documentations, reports that they need, and they want us to move quickly as we prepare for the visit of the head of the Saudi Fund for Development in April of this year, when we dedicate the Banga Saraya stretch of the road and get prepared for the other leg of the road.
Also, on the sidelines of these meetings taking place at Farmington, you met this morning with the ECOWAS ambassador to Liberia and the ECOWAS commissioner for administration on this ECOWAS Youth and Sports Center. You care to tell the public what was the outcome of that meeting?
Very good, very good. All the ECOWAS folks are here, and so we're having a one-stop approach while we are here on the joint ECOWAS one-man, one-me, one-fam statutory meetings. We're having side meetings. Last year, Liberia was voted as the country where the ECOWAS Youth and Sports Center will be relocated from Burkina Faso. I think 3 countries have left ECOWAS. ECOWAS was a regional group that comprised the 15 member countries of our region. 3 countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, they've left. So the ECOWAS Center was in Burkina Faso. Now it was agreed, and thanks to the collaboration between us, the government, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, did a great job here too. We had a great tag team, and we were voted. So it comes here to Liberia. So the manpower that were being headquartered in Burkina Faso comes to Liberia. So we as a country, we needed to get a facility. Now, the good thing that's happened, let me thank our folks at Foreign Affairs, my folks at the ECOWAS unit that is housed within the Ministry of Finance, led by Mr. Ben Roberts, our folks at the General Services Agency, Youth and Sports, and other entities of government that I'm forgetting. Everyone has been working one government approach. We've not identified a facility, big structure, I think around the Congotan area, that we co-locate, and here the key word, co-locate, the ECOWAS Youth and Sports Center that is